Hello everyone. I'm Reality, and this video is basically gonna be about how I came out. With that being said, um living the alternative lifestyle, living a lesbian lifestyle, being homosexual. This video isn't to put anyone on blast. This video isn't to hurt anyone or put anyone on spot. This video is actually to help someone deal with what I'm actually going through and what I have been through. Being a mother of four, it was very hard for me to start living an alternative lifestyle, being a lesbian, being homosexual. um I would start back at the age of 5 or 6. That's when I realized, I think, that I had an attraction to the same sex. I would find myself looking at little girls, looking at women in an inappropriate way that I would say a child shouldn't be looking at the same sex. I would actually look at movies. I would fantasize um about being with girls and women. Um it was to the point where, you know how kids play house, they had that cousin or that friend that they always played house with, and they wanted to, I guess, hump on or whatever. um it was to the point where I would find myself wanting to play house with girls. um I have read in articles that, it's normal. A lot of people have played house with the same sex, but it had came to the point where I actually enjoyed playing house with the same sex. Now, may I say this? A lot of people say that kids grow up doing the things that they saw or that they were around in a certain type of environment. When I tell you, my mom did not raise me around any of that stuff. We actually was raised into the church. We grew up and we had moral beliefs. So around 10 or 11, I knew that having those feelings weren't right. You don't supposed to have those feelings. It's wrong. People won't like you, stuff of that nature. So, it was times where I was ashamed of it. I didn't know why I felt this way. I didn't know why when I got a friend or a best friend to come over, I wanted to do these type of things. I didn't know that, and I didn't understand that. Um Going into middle school and high school, that's when it really became an issue for me because I was emotionally attached to the friends that I had. It was a couple of friends that I had that I would find myself being attracted to, and it was an issue because I came emotionally attached to them. I would try to, save them, comfort them. Um I would just, it was a lot of weird things to where the fact that people were actually saying she weird, she this, she that, it became an issue to I isolated myself from people because I didn't want people to actually notice the feelings that I had. I had boyfriends, um, but they didn't know what I suffered with because growing up being bisexual, that really gave you the title of being a freak. Um, Now that I'm grown, I know that it's a difference between being a freak and being freaky. Um, so I had encountered, some bisexual encounters where, I was with girls separate, and then I was with guys, but I hid it. It was to the point where, maybe I would, kiss a girl and try to be like, oh, I'm just playing or whatever, very touchy, huggy or whatever, but still try to hide it. Um, it was times that I would pray to God, why do I feel this way? This isn't a way that I supposed to feel. Um, is it a curse? I the more I had those feelings, the more I found myself pushing myself on guys because I didn't want to have these feelings. Um, because being homosexual, that was an issue. It was an issue. You couldn't live this way. Tanya, this is wrong. You don't fantasize about women. You don't look at women. You don't want women to touch you. You shouldn't want to touch a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I prayed about this, but as I became an adult, I found myself, having encounters with, my baby fathers, lying, telling them, oh, this would spice our relationship up. This would make it exciting. Come on, let's do it. You would be the first that I have done this with, because I knew if I would tell guys that I like girls, that would be an issue. Um, it wasn't accepted. That was something like a female wilding out, being a freak. Like you with both sexes, like that's something that you don't supposed to do. So I hid it very well, because one thing my mother taught me was how to carry myself like a woman. So, it was a lot of people in the hood, knew that Tanya, oh, she like girls, or she got a thing for girls, But it started becoming an issue because I couldn't balance being bisexual. I couldn't balance the fact that, did I want to be with men or did I want to be with women? It became an issue. It became a identity issue, because I loved women more than guys. So it started becoming an issue with my relationships, because I actually wanted to be with women more, but hiding it was becoming an issue. Now, for a long time I was able to hide it because I was with feminine girls. So I could tell my mom, my grandma, my kids, oh, that's my friend. That's my home girl. That's somebody I work with, or, that's my roommate. But when it start really becoming an issue is when I fell in love with my wife, Shun. She is what people call a stud, but she don't like to be categorized. But she wore boy clothes. So therefore I knew I would have to say something. When I started to fall in love with her, I knew it was an issue. I knew that I had to tell people, because they would start to wonder. So I told my baby fathers. I actually talked to my kids. And I asked them, what if mommy fell in love with the same sex? What if mommy, loved the girl? I asked my baby fathers, um, what if this is the lifestyle that I wanted to be in? And I want to confirm something. What I've been through growing up as a child in relationships, that didn't have anything to do with this lifestyle that I chose to live. Um, I actually chose this lifestyle because first of all, I fell in love with a woman. Um and the fact that I love this feeling more than I love the feeling with the opposite sex. It didn't have anything to do with, oh, that guy hurt her, so she ran to the opposite sex, or, stuff happened to her when she was little, so that's why she liked it. No, it's a choice, and I choose to be this way because I couldn't shake this feeling. Um, I told my grandmother, she, kept saying it was a phase. It's a phase. It's something that, a lot of people, women go through. Some women could shake that feeling off. Some women can't, and I started to wonder, was I one of those women that was going through that phase and couldn't shake it off? I told my dad, the emotional part came in when I told my best friend. She wasn't accepting of it. She cried. She wanted to know, why was I like this? Why I was living this way when it was wrong. Um my mom felt the same way, and I don't knock anyone for having moral beliefs, um going strictly by the Bible, but it was a hurting feeling that I wasn't getting accepted by the people that I love. Um I prayed on that, you guys. I prayed on that situation. It was so hard. I had sleepless nights. Um, it took a toll on me and my mom relationship. Um, it wasn't accepted in her house. It wasn't accepted around her. She wasn't gonna accept it, period, at all. She didn't want to hear it. She didn't want her baby living this lifestyle. Um, at that time, I didn't understand it. I just wanted acceptance from my mom. It drew a lot of anger in me. um I just didn't understand. So I think for 3 or 4 years my mom wasn't going for it, and it was so hard. My best friend wasn't going for it, and it was hard. But you guys, when I tell you prayer works, it really works. I prayed and I prayed. You guys, when I tell you, I thought that my mom would never come through. My mom would never accept the fact that her daughter was this way. God changed all that. Um, I'm starting to want to cry because my mom meant the world to me, and not being accepted by your mom or disappointing your mom, that's the worst feeling ever, because I already disappointed her having kids without being married. So I didn't want to disappoint her anymore. I always wanted to make my mom proud because I know I have disappointed her in my life. I was one of those kids that didn't go to college. So, I'm like, now her daughter is gay. And it was hard because, I felt my mom was ashamed of me. Um, I felt that I couldn't go anywhere with my mom or anything because I was that gay child. Um, to be honest, it was emotional. I had a good friend to like rat me out when I wasn't ready to come out. She told people that I was gay, and I'm not gonna mention any names because I have forgiven her. But it hurted. It really, it showed me that living this way is a bad thing. It's not accepted. You're an outcast. You're a black sheep. You're a homosexual. It's almost like we are a disease. Um, I live this lifestyle because I'm in love with Sean. Now, another thing that I need to mention is I was one of those females that was like, oh, I just do this for fun. I would never fall in love with a female. I would never be in a dedicated relationship with a female. Marrying a female? What, girl? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Doing it from time to time, for fun. That's what type of female I was. Never in a million years would I think that I would fall in love with Sean. So that's the whole thing. Love found me in the same sex. I can't explain it. I still have times where, I battle with, you know, is this right? Is this for me? Is this something that I supposed to be doing? Um, I have had spiritual battles. I have had identity crisis. I have lost jobs. I have lost friends. You know, I don't know if, maybe my friends that I had felt like, if I be with Tanya, they'll start to, say that I'm gay. Because, the saying is birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, it's a hurting feeling to not be accepted. But what I have realized is we can't go off of what other people want from us. We can't let other people dictate our life. Um Prayer works, you guys. Anybody that's having a hard time coming out and that's going through things with your family, prayer. God will answer your prayers. Me and my mom have a loving relationship now. She loves me and Sean. It took her 3-4 years to get that way. Um, Another thing that me and Sean don't do, we affection. We don't do that in public. We don't do it around our family. We don't do it around our kids because we understand that it's not a comfortable situation to see your loved one in love with the same sex. So we respect the fact that other people do have, you know, these moral beliefs, they aren't comfortable with it. So we don't just throw it out there. It's a lot of homosexuals that give people like us a bad name because they're wilding out, they're doing this, they're doing that, when people that want to live an alternative lifestyle in a respectful way get a bad name. That's just like, if somebody say, oh, Tanya, she gay, the first thing they gonna think is she gay, oh, she wilding out or whatever. No, me and Sean actually carry ourselves in a respectful way. It's a lot of people that have stayed around us and did not know that we were a couple. They did not, they thought we were sisters, they thought we was cousins, um because we respect the lifestyle that we live, because we want respect from others. So therefore you have to carry your weight, yourself, excuse me, in a certain way. um I still have a hard time with society not accepting it. It's times that I will say my wife, and you know I won't get phone calls back. Housing, trying to get housing, trying to have events, different stuff, just even with us in our organization and our business, it's a lot of people that are very, very homophobic. So, it's hard because I'm I just want people to understand that we are still human. We just love differently. Um I I don't know how it truly affected my loved ones. In part two, you guys will see that because I actually would be having conversations with my loved ones, like my mom, my best friend, um my grandmother, my sister, to actually let you guys see how it actually affected them. But to be honest, I know that it affected me in so many ways. In so many ways. I was at the point where I wanted to live life for others. I wanted to make everybody happy. It didn't matter how Tanya felt, you know. It didn't matter how reality felt, you know. Um, you can't live life, your life, through others. And I want you guys to understand that anybody that's dealing with coming out homosexuality, I want you to know that God loves you. He truly do. Um, our family and friends might not. And I can't even say that they don't love us because they're not accepting of it. Because just because you don't accept something don't mean you don't love the person. I know that because I'm a parent myself, and I would want the best for my child. Um, so you have to actually put yourself in both situations. Be patient. Pray about the situation. Um, don't make your family uncomfortable. You don't have to be ashamed of who you are, but you have to respect the fact that other people may not agree with who you are. So sometimes you have to isolate yourself. Pray, pray, and pray. I promise you, you will get through this. I thought that I would never get through this, but I made it. And you can make it too.